Hello again, this is Robert V. Chair. This is my video review of the Toogood brand. Their 8.7 inch commercial electric slicer. Has a 180 watt motor, well, almost a quarter horsepower. It's got Italian carbon steel blade, beautiful blade right there. It's got a top mounted sharpener, which is really unique. I've never seen that before. This will cut meat, cheese, bread, slice anything you want, up to 0.6 of an inch thick. And it's ETL rated, which is really nice to see. American company, so you know everything on there is high quality electrically. This gets excellent customer ratings. It's low noise motor and easy to assembly for cleaning. We're going to show you all those features that it has and close-ups of everything. So before I do that, the first thing I want to show you is how this was shipped. It was in a large box right to my front door, and it had styrofoam protecting it, and everything was wrapped in plastic and very, very high quality packaging so that you get it safe to your home. So this is the beautiful slicer. This thing is like the kind of slicer you'd see at a deli. It's a small version of what you see at a major delicatessen, and if I owned a deli, I would order 5 of these for my employees to use. It slides incredibly smooth. There's bushings below here, and there's just all kinds of ways to take this apart very simply for cleaning. I just love the way this thing is laid out. It has a really long power cord, and it's thoroughly quiet. I'm going to turn it on. I'll show you where those buttons are later in the video, but listen how quiet that is. And there's a lot of torque to this. The speed is set up to be slow because it is geared down. So just go with your meat and cheese at the right rate that you're going to go based on whatever you're cutting and the thickness. You'll know by the rate that it's cutting. I'm going to show you all the different attachments on here, but I'm going to remove this right here just to quickly show you something on there. This comes up, and you can see it's got a really nice sliding plate on here, bushing and everything, and it's got this high quality piece right there that pushes the meat and the cheese or the bread, and that's like a polyethylene material and a little plastic guard right there. I just love how this is designed. I'm going to show you everything about it, and now we're going to demonstrate it. We're going to slice some a roast to make lunch meat. I'm going to slice some cheese, and we're going to slice some bread. So this is the bottom of the unit. There is the cutting knob right there for the depth, power on off switches right there. And I just wanted to show you this label right here that is ETL rated, and that's a good sign. That's an American company. It says that everything is rated and approved for use in your kitchen electrically and mechanically and component wise. And the sliding carriage right here, you can see there is an adjustment. If this ever got loose, you can turn that clockwise, put a little more tension on this sliding plate right there. And you can see it has nice oversized rubberized legs to keep this totally stable when you're using it on your countertop. One of the unique features of this slicer, it has sharpening stones. It's going to come with these in this position, closed towards the back. This is an option for you to use if you want to sharpen the blades, which can be done depending on use. You might want to do it once every 2 years or so. But there's a button you push right there. You see it's moving that sharpener stone right there. There's a button there, and it's moving the other one in that direction, you can see. So you loosen this knob right here, then this rotates, and you could then pull it out and then push it back in, and it'll lock in place right there. Then you can tighten that same black knob right there and turn it clockwise. And what's going to happen is this is going to lock in place. Then when you push these knobs, they're going to go against the blade at the proper angle, and it's going to allow you to sharpen it. Be very easy going on these. You don't have to push really hard. As the blade rotates, it's going to true them up. Very unique and important to have on a slicer. Now when you're slicing meat or cheese or bread, it's going to fall out the back right here, so you can put a tray or way to collect it, or just keep this base clean so that the food or the cheese or the meat can go right on here. That's where it's going to fall as you're cutting the meat or the cheese. We're going to demonstrate that. On the front of the unit there is a knob right here, and this allows you to move the whole carriage for cleaning. So you unscrew this knob, you go counterclockwise. It's nice and oversized, easy to remove. Then this whole piece can be lifted out for cleaning so that you actually have access to the whole piece for cleaning and drying, which is really nice. On the side of the unit, it has the elliptical controls. You've got 0 to turn it off. They cleverly put the on button flush so that you can't accidentally bump it, and you push that to turn the motor on. And this knob right here is going to control the depth. So when you turn this counterclockwise, it's going to drop this piece right here, this whole section, and you see what happens when you do that. Then the blade thickness increases. It's calibrated with numbers so that if you all of a sudden want to do a piece of bread, you can remember the number in your recipe, or cutting some lunch meat or cheese, you can determine the number and remember that and write it down. It seems to be very accurate. When you go to the 0 position, it's at 0, which means that it shouldn't be cutting anything on the blade. Whenever you're cleaning or working on the unit, you're not slicing, make sure you unplug the cord for safety so that the unit can't accidentally be turned on or bumped. And speaking of this cord, it is a grounded USA plug, and it's very generous. It's about almost 8 feet long. I was really impressed with that, and very thick gauge to handle the current of the motor. The only assembly required is this carriage feed plexiglass shield, which is optional, but it's nice to have. You just have to put in the 2 flathead screws and it holds it in place. When the unit first comes to you, there'll be a plexiglass guard on the blade. Just make sure you remove that before you take the unit apart for cleaning or run the unit for the first time. On the back of the slicer, there is the sharpening stone, which I mentioned. There's a blade guard, safety guard removal. You're going to turn this counterclockwise, and it's going to allow you to remove the safety guard on the blade. We're going to show you that so that you can remove 3 screws to allow the blade to be cleaned. So here I unscrewed the back knob and allowing this cover to be removed. And there are the flathead, the 3 screws that you remove, and that allows you to remove the blade for cleaning. Then when you're done cleaning, you just reassemble those, put this back on. It only goes one way. Turn that large screw in the back clockwise, and it'll lock this back in place, and you're all set. So here we're going to demonstrate some slicing. We're going to start with a hunk of cheese. It's been refrigerated. I'm going to put that in to the holder right there. Lock it in place. Turn the unit on. And I'm going to start slicing. I'm going to hold here and hold here at the same time. So it's very easy to move, and it's going through the cheese real easily. We have a piece of parchment paper on there because whatever you're cutting goes into the back section, or towards the front, I should say. But the motor's not stalling. So now I changed the setting on the knob here, and I've got a thinner slice going on. And with this pushing device right here, it allows you to go really close to the cheese or whatever you're cutting. So look how thin that is. Beautifully sliced. So the next thing we're going to be slicing with the Toogood slicer is a roast. And we're going to be making sub sandwiches. We made this homemade delicious bread. And you can go and buy the meat you need and slice it. Save yourself some money and make it fresh and don't have any nitrates in it. So here's the homemade roast beef. I'm going to slice it. We have it set pretty thin. So you see it's just gliding through it. And we put this in the refrigerator first. I'm going to show you what it looks like. So here's the perfectly thinned slices. Look at that. It's absolutely perfect. So let's take a look at that. We can never get our deli to slice beef this thin and perfect. This is incredible. Here we're going to slice some homemade bread using the Toogood slicer. And we're going to go to the max, about 3/4 of an inch depth. Like you see, it sliced it. Now this bread is very soft, so it probably would be easier to slice if it was next day, maybe a little drier, but it worked quite nicely. So there it is, and it did a decent job. Next time let's let the bread get a little drier, but it did a really good job. So there's a delicious sandwich with the thinly sliced provolone cheese and the thinly sliced roast beef, tomatoes and lettuce, and the homemade bread that this sliced. So this Toogood slicer worked really amazing. So after slicing and testing, what do I think about the Toogood brand? This 8.7-inch commercial electric slicer. This thing really is commercial quality. Totally impressed from the legs up to the top. There's so many adjustments you can make. This is simple to use, high power, very easy to clean, comes apart. This is the kind of slicer you always wanted, but you never got. Now you should get it because this thing is pretty amazing. I'm impressed with it. As I mentioned, ETL rated. It's a great product to have in your kitchen. Even if you just use it a couple times a year, this is worth having. The cost of lunch meat is skyrocketed. This is going to help you cut cheese, meat, bread. And if you're a hunter, this is excellent for any kind of venison or meat that you gather, and you'll be able to slice it up after you cook it. This is pretty amazing. So I'm totally impressed by this. I'm blown away by it actually, and so is my wife. So we're going to give this product a full 5-star rating. I hope this video review helped you with your buying decision. Thank you for watching.